In a time where there was nowhere to turn, where all seemed hopeless, two powerful women from Wisconsin approached a man named Josh Barnett and Dave Jose. The funny thing about these men is that they told the people, regular people, that they have all power and that they can stand up to any attorney and any government official in order to get justice, peace, and to give hope to the nation. But because of Carla and their wonderful team, David Jose and Josh Barnett got to come to Wisconsin and give real remedy to the people, real hope, real justice by faith. And now you get to witness the results. We the people have all political power.
I'm not politically correct. I'm not going to be one of the ones who are favored by anybody who wants to keep power over the people. And my heart is on fire right now because I realize I've talked to Rantham, I've talked to Ivan, and I've heard these men pushing to save the nation. And there's one thing that's missing here that burns me to death. I felt the energy leave the room after she got done talking and asking, what can we do right now? I felt the energy falling out of the room when he started saying, what can we do as the people? The thing that makes me the most angry is that your forefathers all wrote you love letters to tell you how to fix this very issue. And we're sitting here talking about people who have their hands tied at times. And it is not right because this state belongs to the people. Each one of you, I don't think there's a person in here who can say that they've been taught the state constitution in detail in this state at all. The state constitution. Now, they might have learned it because they come to school to learn this. But why should you have a state constitution that binds all the officers of the state and nobody knows what it says? So when you want to tell what's not right, you don't know what to say because nobody taught you. So then you have to beg for remedy. Now, it's crazy to me because there was an audit in Arizona, which they said there was never one before. So if there was never an audit in Arizona before, how did we get one?
A lot of folks who have concerns about the election. I believe there were problems with the election. I believe that's why we have passed 17 different bills. We have the Gateman investigation that I know is showing many of the issues that are there. The problem gets down to what's the remedy. There are some people who think that the legislature has the unilateral ability to overturn the election. We do not.
Okay, so here it is where Mr. Voss explains that you don't have the power to overturn the election. But we do know the people have the right to free and equal elections, right? That are pure. So if we look at 94A, it says, where there is a legal right, there is also a remedy. They want you guys to believe that no remedy exists just because they don't see it or this never happened before. Look at 94C. When the law gives anything, it gives the means of attaining it, right? All incidents are tacitly given. That means silently. When you tell someone they can have power to make sure your elections are clear or pure, or that you can have elections, they also give you all the tacit power to make sure that you can do what's necessary to make sure that your elections are clean, clear, and fair. Now, they really are silly when they say, well, we're in this new place where we've never seen this before and we don't have a way to give you remedy because there's no remedy for this.
Constitutional scholars like Rick Essenberg, Jim Trupis, Donald Trump's own attorney in Wisconsin, said we do not have that power. I still believe that today.
94D. If you can be relieved by a custom remedy, new ones should not be tried. If an old wall can be repaired, a new one should not be made. This gives you the understanding that it is possible to give a new remedy.
They are trying to convince us of the fraud that occurred. I already believe there was fraud that occurred. The challenge is we now need to have an attorney general and a governor who will sign legislation and fight with us to make sure that the election in 2022 and 2024 is fair. We don't have the ability to unilaterally overturn the election. just that can't happen.
Do you think there was widespread fraud or just a few instances?
I think there was widespread fraud, and I think we are going to see more and more data that comes out as Justice Gableman continues his investigation. But it's up to the people of Wisconsin to decide who they want to lead their state. If they want to have Tony Evers and Josh Call, who have obstructed the investigation and a fair election in every way they possibly could, that's what they can vote for in November. I think we have a better remedy with candidates who will say that we'll pass election integrity we will pass election integrity legislation. We'll follow up on the findings from the Nonpartisan Audit Bureau and Will, who have all found that there were problems. The Democrats still have not yet admitted that there were any issues with the 2020 election, and every investigation has shown there were many. So I think we should focus on the solution, which is a new governor, a new attorney general, the ability to have, as we move forward, solutions that can actually become law, as opposed to ideas which, again, are totally untested, never been done in the history of our country. We can't have a legislature decertify an election.
Now, he tries to say legislature can't decertify, which would mean that he would take away remedy of the people as a right. 94E. To take away all remedy for the enforcement of a right is to take away the right itself. Well, we know the legislature is not allowed to take away the right of the people, so there must logically be something that we can find in the maxims of law, the fundamental principles, that would tell us what we can do in this case. Well, let's look at 94M. We are never to resort to what is extraordinary as a remedy, kind of like the extraordinary hearings they have or when they call each other into extraordinary sessions. We are never to resort to what is extraordinary as a remedy until what is ordinary fails. So, if the ordinary process for making sure the people have justice with their elections cannot work because there's nothing there to give a remedy to the people to make sure that their elections were pure and without error, then you can make a new remedy. We got the audit in Arizona by sending affidavits and notices to the government, understanding that when there's no remedy to fix something and the attorneys are saying there's nothing you can do, we could just make up a remedy and give affidavits and notices and instruct our government. Now, people thought nothing could happen, but we understood something important. Let's look at 94N. Where the ordinary remedy fails, all the court cases for trying to get audits failed. Everybody found that they couldn't get anything done with a normal process that attorneys learned in schools across the nation. They were even told if they tried to help the people, they would lose their license, and they did attack people's license. So where did we get justice? 94N. Where the ordinary remedy fails, we must, not should, not could, we must have recourse to what is extraordinary. So when he tells you that all these brilliant, smart attorneys who are trained under the same systems by the same people that are going to tell us that we cannot have audits, we have to realize that we have extraordinary powers as the people and the government must follow us. Oh, wait, now I almost forgot. 94O, remedies for rights are ever favorably extended. 94S, a new remedy is to be applied to a new case. If they have the nerve to say we've never seen this before and this is a new situation, by necessity, you must provide a new remedy where there is not one. So now it's time to hear what you can do.
I can tell you that Josh Barnett and I wrote the affidavits and served them at Karen Phan's house and told her, and we also CC'd Donald Trump and ordered him to pick up the ballots, and we can show the documents. We can show where we talked to the people in the White House when they had the fight with Sidney Powell. We can show you Patrick Byrne there. We can show you all the events that happened, and we can show you the affidavits and notices that we did. I was able to talk to this brave man here. You want to know why? Because this woman and the group of people here and the woman sitting over there did notices and affidavits, and the representative read the notices, realized what the truth was, and took action. And I've heard him say, by God, he's going to do whatever is necessary to help the people know if he loses everything. So what I want you guys to know is It is not the government servants making a decision on if you guys will have what's right or not.
That's right.
I want to read something to you guys from your forefathers. Because here's the issue. You're asking, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? And the door shuts. Nobody tells you. So then we have to ask the government to ask another group of people in the government who are getting money and all types of issues, what can we do? I'm going to read this to you guys, and it shall forever change your life. The issue we have here, ballot boxes being wrong, is what's called maladministration. The issue with them voting incorrectly, maladministration. Not following the advice and the law of the legislature, maladministration. That's not a word you hear much. When you have maladministration in a state, it is not the duty of the state to fix it. They should fix it, but the liability falls on the people who control the state. And that's not the government. So I'm going to read this to you guys, and you'll know what you can do from now on. That government is, or ought to be, instituted for the common benefit, protection. Are they protecting you when things are not right? And security of the people, nation, or community. Did that name a state, or did it say everybody? People, nation, or community. Of all the various modes and forms of government, that is best which is capable of producing the greatest degree of happiness and safety. Are you happy and safe when your elections are... Nobody's arguing that everything was done wrong. We're not trying to say we know who committed fraud. We're saying everybody agrees that you didn't follow the law, right?
Oh, no. There's people that said they followed it.
Well, if we can clearly see that we have an election law or a procedure that's supposed to be followed and they did not follow it, we don't need to prove anything else. Watch what this says. And is most effectually secured against the danger of maladministration. Not maladministration, not just bad administration, just the danger of it. This is what the people have the power to do. And whenever any government shall be found inadequate, are you adequate when you won't fix stuff? Or contrary to these purposes, a majority of the community hath an indubitable, it can't be questioned, inalienable and indefeasible right to reform, alter, or abolish it. How? They're going to say, can you give me an itemized statement of how we can decertify it? You got to show me like an attorney manual. Here's what it says. In such manner as shall be judged most conducive to the public will or public good. So however y'all to come together, decide and want to. So you, every one of you have a right to deal with the issue, and you can change your constitution, which changes all the statutes at will. So if you're mad and you're upset, you don't have to wait. Stand behind the people who are deciding to do right. Because here's the thing I know. I don't know very many people, but I know who Rankin is and I talk to him. He will tell you guys what the truth says about your rights. And you ready to hear that? So you can stand and demand that it be taken away, and you can hold emergency meetings because they got granted the authority to do it in the legislature from you. So if they can do it, they got it from you, you can do it. Make an emergency meeting, everybody come together, follow those who are leaders, and guess what? If you don't believe that they did right and you know there was maladministration, the people can come together and decertify too. That's the truth.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
To learn more about how you can fight, please go to www.restoremyrepublic.com. www.restoremyrepublic.com. Put in your information, name, phone number, and email. It will be given to the fighters in your state. Your information will not be sold or used for any other purpose. Let's take back your state.